Our photojournalist, Chris Fitzpatrick, has put together a unique look at what it's like to walk down this tunnel on game day.
Like I told you yesterday, man, they're scared. They're scared, and that's not to our advantage. You're up against a scared man, a scared team.
Switzer always made us understand the path to the national championship was through Texas.
This is why we play football.
It gauges who they are.
It's state versus state.
When you're playing two of usually the top 5 teams in the country.
That was it.
Whoever loses, especially the seniors, has to live with that for the rest of their life, the rest of their life, the rest of their life.
I had the opportunity to play in a World Series, and I stepped into my first at-bat in Veterans Stadium with 73,000 people, and I got ready to hit, and I backed out for just a second. I said, I wanted to see this. I just wanted to feel it. And, you know, flash bulbs are going off and stepping back in. And then after the game, I told my wife as we were driving home after the ball game, I said, you know, that's the second most impressive thing I've ever done in my athletic career. And she said, second? And I said, yeah, the first time I walked out, knew I was going to play and start against Oklahoma and came down the tunnel in the Texas-Oklahoma game. That was the most amazing athletic event I'd ever been to.
Can you imagine what's going through those kids' minds right now? It is the game.
Probably the greatest entry of any college football game.
It's like a dream.
You can almost hear the player's heartbeat.
I gotta tell you, this is one of the most religious experiences in all of college football.
On the second week in October, this tunnel at the Cotton Bowl is the most intense place. Mark my words, this is unbelievable.
Texas! You've already heard the Boomer Sooner band come by. The Texas Fight band come by.
We're gonna beat the hell out of OU!
Coming out of the locker room is just a completely different feeling at Texas. I mean, because you're looking right at Texas's locker room, and you can hear them if you're coming out first.
They share the same tunnel, and you know, often you're there in the tunnel together.
Been waiting all week. Let's go, baby.
They used to come down together, but still, when one team's coming out of its locker room and the other team can stare at them and yell at them as they're going down, you still don't even get that in most stadiums.
Getting ready to walk down that tunnel, and you don't want to faint when you walk down it or hyperventilate, you know.
You know, it's almost like having rabid animals too close to each other.
Let's go, damn it!
I mean, there's a reason that when they start a dog race, they're in a cage and then turned loose.
Woo! Let's go, dog!
You start walking down.
I guess it's a little bit like the gladiators when you're walking into the Coliseum.
I mean, I had been to quite a few OU Texas games as a kid, so I kind of knew what it was like, but I don't think there's anything that could prepare you for what it's like to actually be in the tunnel and take the field. It's probably one of the coolest things I've ever done.
It was just as amazing to be in a national championship my freshman year, but that tunnel, the people, the atmosphere, to walk out there and see the split, to walk out there and get booed and cheered, it's just everything about it.
There have been guys known to throw up coming down the tunnel. I mean, they get so excited to hear it. I mean, it's that emotional.
Women down! They be like, there we go!
Your adrenaline's pumping so hard.
By the time I got to the bottom of the tunnel, I promise I couldn't feel my feet touching the ground.
For some reason, Texas has allowed Oklahoma to have that south end for 50, 60 years, ever how long. So the Sooners know immediately when they come out, they're going to be embraced and welcomed. Texas knows that they've entered foreign territory.
I'm the one that always brought it up. It was a tremendous advantage for Oklahoma because we always thought it was a home game every year when we played there.
The psychology of that is, oh, well, we're not away. We're not in Texas. We're in Norman.
I don't think there's an advantage gained by which fans are in the end zone. And what DeLawson and I wanted to do is, if our fans decided they wanted an opportunity to be at the tunnel, then they could, because it would be an experience they wanted.
Oh yeah, y'all going down! Texas sucks!
For years, Texas fans and players felt like they got a raw deal because the Oklahoma fans were able to taunt them as they came out of the tunnel.
In that tunnel, you can hear every word they said.
You hear it a lot more at the end of the game than at the end, because I think at the end of the game, you know, it's always the Oklahoma end, the tunnel, where the teams depart to go into the locker room.
When Greg Robinson was there as defense coordinator, he gave the OU fans a finger going up the ramp after a loss.
I did see a Sooner fan break loose and throw a bucket of red paint on Bevo.
It's not just the Longhorns. I mean, I know that's the tunnel in which Gary Gibbs got beer dumped on him by an OU fan.
I think Switzer said that if they threw beer at him, he would have caught it and drank it.
Well, I probably would. And, you know, I'm that kind of guy, but hope as long as it's in a cup.
But back in the old days, when I was at OU in '84, you had to duck. Sometimes when you were coaching for OU and you were coming out of there, you had to duck, not just the other team.
When it comes to the curtains, you know, I think it's necessary. I think it's unfortunate, but I think it's necessary.
Players will tell you that there were cans and bottles that had gotten smuggled in that bounced off helmets. Fortunately, helmets were on, and they're always told when you go down the tunnel, make sure your helmet's on.
No one's ever, I don't think, ever considered Oklahoma, Texas too civil.
Well,
the truth of the matter is that tunnel is not very civil.
And this is where it happens, right here in the tunnel. Texas taking the field.
Every young player that I talk to that's playing at Texas, you're about to experience something that nowhere, no how, no way are you going to do anything as exciting as this is.